Hey guys, Bree here from MichowaCrochet, and I got my hands on something at Michael's and I got it for 50% off. I am super excited. Have you seen these new twist and lock Susan Bates hooks? I'm going to do a full review on these and I am super excited to share that with you. I've been trying to get my hands on these, but without further ado, let's get into it. Hey guys, today we are going to do a full review on the Twist and Lock Susan Bates hook set. I am super excited about this. Now, I've been looking at this for quite a while, but it was like too pricey, like for me to like want to buy, and then what if I don't like it? Like, it was $50 at Michael's, and I'm like, $50, you know, it doesn't sound like a lot for like a good set of hooks, but like, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to like these. And I'm not really one that wants to buy something and have to return it. I mean, who really does? Who wants to take the time to do that? So I've been watching this for a while, really thinking about it. I mean, I saw this over a year ago. I mean, because I saw it before we moved. I've been looking at these hooks. And then I thought, oh, you know, maybe they'll come down in price. They have not. They're $50 at Michael's. But the other day they had a 50% off coupon, and I was like, well, that brings it down to $25. Then I realized I had a $5 reward. So I mean, all in all, these cost me $20 for this. So that's not bad at all. I mean, I got them for more than 50% off. So I mean, if you can get them at that price, I mean, even if you just get them at the 50% off, if they're $50, you get the 50% off, you get them for $25. I feel like, you know, that could possibly be a good deal depending on, you know, the quality of these and, you know, if it's your style and everything. So today I thought I would open these with you. We could look them over and see if they're worth it or not. I mean, I don't know if they'd be $50 sounds like a big risk to take. 20 at least is less of a risk. Let's talk about first what's actually in this box. So you get all of these hooks, which are your F hook, your G, your H, your I, your J, and your K hook. So I mean, you're getting 6 hooks, and you're also getting this handle that they lock into, and you're also getting the cutter here for trimming, for cutting those ends. Oh, and it says you also get, oh, the bag. So you also get this bag, and here's kind of the idea behind it. You have, you know, you put your hook in, you're supposed to be able to twist, it's supposed to lock in, you're supposed to push down and twist, it's supposed to pop right back out. And then your cutter, same idea. And what I'm finding interesting is my understanding is that your hook goes in one end, the cutter goes in the other. And I see so many benefits to that from the standpoint that, like, if you were to leave your project on the hook, I feel like the amount of yarn it would take to like pull down to where the cutter would be and cut it might be like the perfect length to leave for weaving in ends. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. That's just kind of my theory. I'm going to definitely test that out. But I like the idea of it comes with a good variety of hooks. It's got your cutter, you got your handle, you got your bag. I mean, that's almost everything you could really need for a project. I mean, obviously you need the yarn, but the idea of, you know, a stitch mark, you could throw a stitch marker and a needle for weaving on your ends. I mean, you've got an entire kit, just boom, right there. I could easily pop this in my luggage, jump on the train, go visit my parents, and have pretty much like most everything you need for a project. So I love the idea behind this. I couldn't bring myself to buy it at $50 because I just wasn't really that sold on it. But knowing that I got the 50% off, I had the $5 voucher. I mean, all that kind of everything came together and I was like, today's the day. So I'm very excited about this. I'm going to hold this steady so you can get a good look at the back here. But I mean, it comes with everything, you know, you could want. So without further ado, let's go to the table and let's open this up. Let's see what's inside, see what it looks like, and give it a go. I do have a project plan for this that I'll be showing probably next week. Today I just want to kind of review, get my initial thoughts in there, and then I'll have probably a full project done with it by next week, next video. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, guys, here we are down at the table. One last little look at the front, the back, All right, let's open it up and see what it looks like inside. Oh, okay, right there we got the case ready to go. Oh, that's it. So the case looks decent. All right, must go this way because the words are on the front, I'm assuming. Nice little zipper. I like a zipper enclosure for sure. Okay, now I like that it's got this pocket here because, like I was saying before, you know, stitch markers, I don't think you'd want your needle for weaving on your ends in here. Maybe if you had the needle in like a container. So you would need probably something to put your needle into because I think a needle wouldn't stay in here very well, but your stitch markers would be okay. I'm not crazy about the idea of the mesh though, because I feel like with the mesh, like if you had your stitch marker in there, your needle I think for sure would fall out, but yeah, there's not a lot of wiggle room to get your fingers in there if you got big hands like me. But I mean, we're not really here necessarily for the case. The case is more to keep all the things in. So I'm not crazy about this, but oh well, whatever. We're really here for this part. So here's the handle. Let's slide that out first. Okay, it's got a nice, like soft kind of grippy feel. So this is kind of rough looking here, but I mean, as long as it doesn't like wear on my hands, which I don't know, it shouldn't. Should be okay. Now look, I don't know how well you can see like inside of this. It looks like there's kind of like a spring inside of there on both ends there. And that must be, you know, what helps it to push out, I guess, when you're unlocking one. So I'm just going to grab out this one. Okay, this one is the H hook. Let's give it a, okay, it goes in nice, just a little bit of resistance. Okay, oh, okay. It was a little hard to figure out the first time getting it in there. Because, I mean, you're trying to hold on to something that's smooth and round, trying to slide it in and out. So it is a little, there we go. That's not too bad. This has got a nice length to it, too, because I'm looking at, you know, since I have big hands, sometimes the end will, like, rub right in here for me. So that's something I always look at with a hook, because I've had plenty of, you know, hooks that have, like, rubbed this part raw because they're too short, and as I'm moving the hook, it's, you know, it's going, like, rubs that raw. But this has a nice long handle, so I mean, great for somebody who has like larger hands. Now, one thing that I'm used to is having a spot for my thumb, and there isn't really a spot for my thumb. And since this is tapered down and these are different levels, you got 3 different levels, I'm not sure how I'm gonna like that, but maybe it'll be better than I think. I might have to just change up my grip a little bit. So I do like also a spot to rest my thumb, just because I like somewhere to like have my hand orientated. And I mean, that's not either end, so it's not like I have it upside down. Well, maybe this is upside down because it does say Susan Bates here, but I don't see, oh golly Wally. No, I don't think it matters. I don't see a difference. And if you use it one end or the other, it's still going to have the same like from this level to this level to this level. So I'll have to see how I feel when we actually get into it. All right, let's put the cutter in there too. I like how that sits nice and deep like that. And I don't feel like I'm gonna, you know, it's not, I feel like it's pretty safe. I'm not gonna accidentally get myself on it. So let me just grab some random yarn here. I want to see how this cutter actually works. Let's see how much effort. Okay, so you have to pull a little bit of pull into it, but not terrible. We'll do it again here. Yeah, you do got to put a little bit of effort into it, but it's not too bad. I mean, yeah, it seems to cut it pretty good. The only bad thing is, like, I'm noticing, I mean, it's quite frayed at the end. So that makes me a little bit nervous. But I mean, I guess as long as you leave like enough of a tail, then it wouldn't be too bad. All right, I'm gonna grab this random yarn here. let's work a couple stitches, just see how it feels. So now I will say that I'm a Boyd girly, not really a Susan Bates girly. So this does feel a little different and foreign. And first thing I'm noticing, these just chains I just did, that this feels kind of heavy in my hand. Like, it's not like the heaviest, but I mean, it feels bulkier and heavier. Now, if you've got small hands, maybe that would be a problem for you. Me personally, I think I kind of like it. I do think that after a while, it's going to have more it's going to bring more fatigue to my hand than like a normal hook would. But I will say that so far, like, this feels good. And I'm not being a Susan Bates girly. Like, I didn't know how I would feel about this, but I'm telling you, I'm having an easy time just boop, going right along. Oh, I didn't realize that was so short. And like, everything looks pretty consistent. I think overall, so far, it feels good. I didn't realize that wasn't connected to the ball. Otherwise, I would have continued. I cut it off in the wrong spot, I guess. All right, let's give this a try. Like, these hooks, like, at least this one so far looks really smooth. I do like the way they feel. Yeah, I gotta say, so far, I mean, nice and smooth, the hooks just feel extra smooth to me. Like, I'm feeling good about this set so far. All right. And nice thing is with Susan Bates versus the Boy is it got that pointed end, so it's easier to stab into your, like, a tight spot if need be. But I think that this feels nice. I like the way it feels in my hand. I do think there could be a little bit more fatigue, but I like the thickness of this handle. It just is very nice. It's, I mean, definitely more ergonomic than using like a little bitty hook. It's got a nice feel. I'm very surprised so far because I'm liking this way more than I thought I was going to. I mean, it's great for people who have larger hands. Maybe somebody who has some arthritis, it might be good because it's got that thicker feel to, it's got a thicker handle to it. And I mean, I'm just zipping through these stitches here. Whoops. I say that and then I mess up. Funny how that happens, isn't it? But no, I think this feels great. I'm just going to keep going for a minute here. And then we'll see what kind of the fabric looks like after it's worked up a little. Let me hold this up here and take a nice little look at that. I think that looks great. And I've never used these hooks before. And I'm not a Susan Bates girly. And that looks perfect to me. Like, the stitches look consistent. It looks smooth. I mean, it looks great. I can't believe how much I like these so far. Oh, man. All right, well, I want to take a minute here to look at some of the other hooks that come in the set here. Let's put this away. Take a little look. I think that overall, these hooks, I like the colors of them. I mean, they're all so smooth. They're labeled right there at the end. Now, here's something I would wonder is over time, is that writing going to wear off? I don't know. I would think if you had the set for a very long time, it would. But maybe by that point, you'd want to go ahead and get a new set, maybe. But yeah, these are so smooth. Yeah. I mean, this set right here might just convert me into being a Susan Bates girly. I am so impressed with this. I mean, it is really nice. Like, I got more than my money's worth. Let's put it that way so far. I am very impressed. All right. I'm going to work with this for a little while. I'm going to start in my project. And then I'm going to come back, show you where I'm at in my project. I want to give you my final thoughts after I really have some time to work with it. So, I will be back. All right. So, I am back. And I told you a lie, apparently. Because when I said I'll show you whatever I make with the hooks in my next video, well, I made 2 projects that I'm showing you in this video. So I've been seeing these cute little yip yips going around online, and I think they're so cute. My husband was talking about how much he thought, like how fun he thought they were. And I thought these would be perfect to be able to like slide our cell phones in. And so like with the cord pointed outward, you like the bottom of the phone cord coming out like this. I thought they'd be perfect so our cell phones quit hitting the floor because where we currently have them sitting. I think they're super cute. And like I wanted to jump on the trend that everybody else has been doing. Now, since I finished 2 projects with these hooks, I want to give you my final thoughts. Now, I was very impressed. Like, I may be a Susan Bates girly. Like, I never thought I would say that, but I might be. Because I cannot believe how smooth the yarn moved. Like, the hook heads are just so smooth. And I was really liking the idea of, like, the more pointy tip. So that, like, if you had, like, if like the stitch you're trying to go into, it's like a little tight. Like it was a lot easier to get, you know, the hook into the right spot. I thought overall they were wonderful. And I never had any problems with like the orientation of like the hook to my project, like since it didn't have the thumb rest, which I was concerned about. And I think that for the most part, the overall design is great. Other than, here are my negatives about this. Now, I noticed when I went ahead and like I pulled out enough yarn to be able to like actually use the cutter, like if I still had my hook in the project, like I was switching colors, like it seemed like it made an excessively long tail, which, you know, obviously I could have taken my hook out, cut it, and then come back. I mean, that I just was hoping that maybe like with the length of the handle, it would make it like just the right amount to leave like the right like length without having too much waste to, you know, for an end to weave in. The other thing, like I guess my gripes are more with the yarn cutter than anything, because I had it happen a couple different times when I went to cut the yarn, when I, you know, I'm holding onto the handle, I'm have the yarn in my other hand, and when I would go to pull it, that sometimes the sharpener would shoot out. That was a pain in the butt because then I had to go figure out where it shot out to because I mean it is spring loaded in there. So I had that happen a few times, which I guess it's one of those things where maybe it's just like there's a little bit of a learning curve, but I had it happen probably about 3 times. So that is my gripe about that. But for the most part, I think the hook itself, the handle are great. The only problems I really have are with the cutter itself. And like, I'm not sure if like the method I was using, hold the handle, you know, like have the yarn looped through and pulling, like to cut the yarn, if maybe that's where the problem was. But so I did try to like, kind of like a little bit like of a sawing type of action to cut it. But like that just kind of shredded the yarn. So I ended up with like a bunch of fluff that I then had to clear out of the cutter part. So I think the hook itself is good. The handle's good. It's got a good variety of sizes. The sharpener, I'm not totally sold on. That, and like I tried to figure out if there were any other hook sizes that were like larger or smaller, and I didn't find any. Like if you buy like the set I got with the 6 different hook sizes, that's pretty much what there is. I didn't see any larger or smaller. Now, if I'm wrong about that, feel free to correct me in the comments. Maybe drop a link, you know, where I could find other sizes, because I would appreciate that. Because I really did like this set. And I feel like maybe I need to dabble more into Susan Bates hooks because I just was so happy. Like, for the most part, I've always been a boy kind of girl. But, like, I've had a few different times I've used Susan Bates hooks, but they've typically been the plastic hooks. They've been like oddball sizes, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to invest in Susan Bates because it's not my favorite. And so I've gotten like plastic hooks. I don't think I've ever had a metal hook that's been a Susan Bates. And I mean, this set really was kind of a game changer for me and kind of made me start thinking about maybe I should try some Susan Bates hooks, because I'm not happy with my set I have that are boy hooks, because they're ergonomic and they've got the rubber handle, and I haven't even had them that long. I think I've had that set less than 2 years, I would say. And the handles, like the hook will twist within the handle, and then the orientation, because they have the spot, like the little thumb rest, and it's got that spot for your thumb, then I have to like try and like manhandle the hook head back into the right orientation in relation to where the thumb spot is, and it's a pain, and I'm sick of it. And I've been thinking about a new set of hooks, so now I'm really starting to think about looking into some Susan Bates hooks. Like if I'm thinking about buying like a whole complete set, you know, all the from the tiny ones down to the huge one hooks, I'm really starting to think that, because this hook set has really, I mean, it really has been a game changer for me. I just cannot believe, like I'm looking at it and I can't believe how much smoother these are. Now, like, so you've heard I'm really happy with the hooks. I'm happy with the handle. Still got a gripe with the mesh pocket because it just doesn't open very wide. You can't get a whole lot in there. And if I can't get like a needle for weaving in my ends in there, and I think my stitch markers would get caught, that's kind of a bummer. I'm not crazy about the yarn cutter, but I will say the actual handle and the hooks, which is like the main thing you're buying, I mean, that's kind of the point of it, that I'm really, really happy with. I mean, I can't believe how quickly these projects, they just, I mean, they whipped up quickly. And I felt like I was crocheting a little faster than I normally would. And considering I'm using a style of hook that I'm not used to, and I feel like I'm actually was crocheting faster, that also says something too. So I'm going to quit rambling about it. Those are my pros. Those are my cons. I would say I definitely would recommend this set if you're looking for something that'd be easy for on the go and you like the simplicity of everything all in one like that. If you're in the market for a set like this, you've been curious about it, I would say I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually thinking about maybe getting a second one, so that, because I'm just so pleased with this. But before I get too much more rambly, I will talk to you next week. So until then, take care.